Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Anna and this channel is all about sewing, costuming, historical sewing, history bounding, fantasy clothing, theater costume concepts and general tips and tricks around crafting. Today we are going to continue the series that I started where I try to adapt the cinematic costume concept of the musical epic into an actual stage one. Today we're going to cover 3 different characters under one big topic. What would be special effects on stage? In this video I will show you some of the images from the animatics. This is all from the artist Mircsy. I will link her channel below. The animatics are Open Arms for the Lotus Eaters, Warrior of the Mind for Athena and Polyphemus, and Survive for Polyphemus. So with no further ado, let's start. The first character we're talking about are the Lotus Eaters. In the animatic, it is very easy to have these tiny fluffy little animals jumping and walking around, and also walking around all of Polites in open arms. And to show how cute and tiny they are, now bringing these characters to life on stage is a little bit of a challenge. The first thing we have to do in order to bring these characters on stage is to develop a movement for them. There is something in dance called animal movement, which is also a part in the fitness community and is also seen there, and contains a lot of animal movement studies that humans adapt and try to replicate in their own body. Now with these fantasy creatures, the first thing we had to do is to create the character on stage, and the costume would come after that, because costume is always a support for the character. So how do we adapt the size of the Lotus Eaters now to an actual stage, and also to the actors of Odysseus, Polyphemus, and I think I also saw them in Polyphemus and Survive. So how do we address the size? And there we have the problem. If we have normal human-sized people adapting into a character that is so tiny, then it just becomes odd. It's not really the illusion that we want to create. Now, what we could do is to enlarge the whole background. So the stage set, like with giant grass leaves, so that we see they are below that. But then we get into problems having Odysseus and Polites in their regular size. So how we do that? This is definitely a challenge that we would have to address in the real setting. So I can just make some assumptions for how to get to the character, but there is not really a stage set, so I just leave the Lotus Eaters with that. So the first thing would have to be creating the character and creating the movement, creating all the tiny arm movement, the leg movement. How do they move forwards and back, and how does the movement in general work? Now we have also the fluffiness of their fur, and how they are depicted in kind of these images you see there. They have a little bit of flower and they are glowing. And this is also something we talk about a little bit more in the area when we talk about Athena, because Jay had made a video about the characters and their specializations in the costume, and we will talk about that also. So back to the Lotus Eaters. The fur would be easy to make, but as I said, we don't want to break the illusion of tiny and fluffy, and if we have humans playing that role, it can become not so beneficial for the piece. So what we could do is something we will talk about also in the area of Polyphemus, and I will cover that also there. So the Lotus Eaters will be a problem if there is a stage adaptation for Epic. Let's jump to Athena. As I already told, there is a video of the character development from Jay himself, where he also talks about some of the costumes and that he has specializations for some of the characters. He didn't cover all, I think. I didn't watch all the videos, so maybe there slipped something on my mind. If there are a complete series and if I didn't see it, please comment below and I will watch it. In the video where he talks about the character development, he talks also about how the costumes are inspired by Tron, so that there are always a little bit of shiny, glowy elements that specify the character of, depending if it's a god or a monster or the Lotus Eaters or whatever. So the glowing aspects in the costumes of the Immortals. So he said that usually technology equals magic and everything else is the mortal realm. Let's talk a little bit about the special elements in Athena's costume, because they are really, really special and some of them are also difficult to make, but I have a solution for that. Athena wears a headband that can also transform into a full helmet. So now with that, there is a problem, because there are films where these kind of things work, but they are mostly CGI induced. So like with Iron Man, where he just makes and then the full helmet goes out, but that's not happening here. But what exactly does that mean? Usually we see her with a helmet in warlike situations or where she is fighting. When she is with the headband, she is more the wisdom goddess. Let's go a little bit more down. Athena wears a cloak that also can transform into wings. Now, there would be a possibility if we have a circle cut cloak, so that we can have the edges strengthened by metal, so that the metals in the cloak can adapt to the bracelets, and that she can, and then the wings pop out under that. So there is a possibility to do also that. But also, as I talked about it before, there are two different situations where we see that. And when we see Athena in the series, there are flashback moments. So when she meets Odysseus or when she refers to other things that we could do. But as I already told before, there are two different situations. She is fighting or she is the wisdom goddess. So the goddess of war and the goddess of wisdom, they are combined. In this case, I would prefer having two actors on stage. One that is actually singing and narrating the scenery that another dancer or actor could just perform, so that we have a scenery on stage that is the flashback moment, and that Athena in the present moment, talking to Odysseus maybe in the front like warrior of the mind, that she is singing, narrating with the headband and with the cloak. And when she is depicted in the flashback moment, that she is with a full helmet, with an owl helmet, because the owl is the symbol of Athena. She has this headband formed like an owl. She can have the armory also with an owl shape. And yes, my solution to that would be having two actors, one that is in the present moment and in the story, and one with the flashbacks that is fighting with the other costume that is also hers, and that they are together, but to show that there are two different sides of her. So this would be my solution for Athena. And now let's talk about the glow in the eternal realm, so the goddess. There we have two different options. The first would be working with fabric. that can be set in the right angle, and it reflects, and if she turns, then maybe something just glows golden or another color. And this could be one option. Like lurex, we can have holographic layers, we can have paillettes, but if you were on stage at least once, then you know that there are a ton of lights and everything is really, it is burning your soul out of your body. So it is very warm, it's very hot, and everything is lightened. And so this wouldn't be my favorite. What I would work with is LED technology, so that we can have the LED lights attached inside the fabrics, and that it is also regulated by the tech crew from above, and that this is glowing from underneath and is a constant glow. And I think this would be the better solution, to have this working and to have this signature for all of the gods, because then we can have also a consistency between the immortal realm. Now, from the goddess of war and wisdom, we will transfer to the monster and the Cyclops Polyphemus. Now there is a third option and solution to a lot of the problems we see with monsters and with different sizes on stage. Because now if we go into the cave of Polyphemus, we see how the scale is from him related to the other humans. There could be the option to have him be in a giant Michelin suit, but it would definitely rip apart the seriousness of the scenery. And also the direct danger also implodes in itself. So this is definitely not an option if we want to create an experience that is really in the moment, in the danger, in feeling with the actors and feeling with Odysseus and the whole crew that is now in danger and fighting for their lives. So what could be a solution to that? If we have a human actor, it's not possible. So now we are skipping to more technology. We are talking about screens and projections. And we see a lot of development more and more in all the theaters, also with Shen Yun. I don't know if you know that, but this is also something that is dealing with high projections and with a whole lot of screens creating the background of the story, and this is very, very well done. So this is also something I would adapt into a Polyphemus scene, so that we have the real actors on stage reacting to the growls and to the feeling and the anger of this threat, and we have him in a giant screen, so that we have the size, and you see also the sizes compared in the animation there, and we can feel this huge giant crushing down on all these people. So this would be the thing I would prefer for Polyphemus, to have him on screen and created as an image and as a moving image and as an animation. And this is what I'd do for Polyphemus. Also there we don't have problems with the glow from the immortals, because in an animation we have a lot more freedom and possibilities to express this. And also something I wanted definitely to say is that the technology and the special effects are not there to impress, but they are there to express the impossible. And it becomes a great part of storytelling if we have the myth carried on throughout all the series and have the feeling also transmitted through the screen, through the special effects, and through everything we can work with to have this really big experience of the piece. Okay, we're going big steps forward to the first real bigger project, because we will talk about Aeolus in the next episode, and this will be a costume I definitely do for her, and I'm really excited to do this. I already made my patterns, and I'm really excited what you guys think. And there will be a couple of projects that I will do really as a stage adaptation. And yeah, I will see you then. And until next time, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell. And I will see you next video. Have a lovely crafty day. See you next time. Bye.